I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum. Oh.
Today?
What's that?
Is you here today?
Is who?
Janus?
Oh, is Hugh here today? No, I think he took off when you showed up.
Stop.
For
I still
some
have a
reason,
Jersey accent in some words.
I think
for the longest time, like it's funny. So horror was a word I would say like in Jersey accent with horror.
Horror.
I can't say it like that anymore. My mom makes fun of me for because she still has a Jersey accent.
Oh yeah, man, yeah. The horror of it.
Awesome. So only been since I lived in Connecticut where like my
listen,
my accent's changed.
You gotta respect your mother. Your mother knows all. Okay, the horror. Anyway, yeah. Okay, well, let's get the welcome in. Or the regular intro, I guess. So, hello, everyone, and welcome back to the VHS Doom podcast. We are so glad that you've returned to the VHS Doom rental store. We're your hosts. I'm Dylan Crutcher, here with my co-host, Mikey.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Mikey Never Doxed Mutant. We're super, super glad that you've decided to come back. Despite our awful...
That took me a second.
So despite our awful technical issues last week, which cut our double feature right in half to a single feature episode, but that's okay. We're back this week. We have our internet up and running okay. It looks like everybody's uploading relatively
Nobody's building
quickly.
Things in my kitchen or anything.
Yeah, Mikey doesn't have his landlord putting up some random awfully built shelf that's probably going to collapse with his dryer on it. No offense.
I mean, yeah, I'm kind of afraid of it, honestly.
Those pictures. Maybe we can include the picture in the show
I'm
notes.
Good. I like where I'm staying.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I'm going to put the picture in the show notes. No one will ever know. It's okay. But anyway, yeah, so we're back this week and really excited to be back to talk about the second film we were going to talk about last week, but just an awesome Frank Henenlotter title, Frankenhooker. Easily up there with one of my favorite movies now of all time. I love this movie, so I was super sad not to talk about it.
I knew you were going to love it, honestly, because you like stuff like Reanimator, Creepshow.
Oh, yeah. And,
Trauma,
this just feels like, I know we talked about it last week, and when the Trauma name came up as like, a screen because they own it now. They own the rights to it. I was like, oh yeah, makes perfect sense. Like this is it feels like a Trauma movie, even in the beginning when it's that like idyllic summer vibe, like that. I feel like that's how Trauma movies start, before the chaos ensues. So it really made sense.
Oh, and there's chaos in this movie.
Oh, dude, the chaos ensues. Yes. So I'm super excited to talk about that. But before we, jump in, what's going on with you, bud?
Nothing much. This week is kind of quiet. My son's soccer program ended last week, so we're just going to be going to music class on Friday. But
nice.
Other than that, I did watch a movie.
Okay, what'd you got?
I watched The Resurrected from Dan O'Bannon. He wrote Alien, and he directed the movie Dead and Buried.
Okay.
It's based on the short story, or it's more of a book, I guess, from H.P. Lovecraft, The Case of Charles Dexter Ward.
Okay.
So pretty much, I'll just read the back of this one then, because it's usually kind of different than the actual story when they adapt these things.
Sure, yeah. What's the case say?
A wealthy scientist may have found a way to beat it. Using an ancient diary and human remains, Ward begins terrifying and bloody pursuit for immortality. What his wife doesn't know that she hires a PI that finds out that he's not just dead, but he's like resurrected.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, this was released in '91 from MGM.
Nice. Okay,
The
gotcha.
DVD for years was like out of print for a while, and then Scream Factory put this out on Blu-ray.
That's where you got it?
No, I had the DVD originally. I had the
Oh,
DVD.
okay.
That took me forever to find. I remember buying it probably around when we started being friends. I told you like how I'd buy like ridiculous things on eBay for ridiculous prices back then.
Right, before family and responsibilities.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
I'm trying my best.
Yeah, right. I hear you. I hear you. Okay, nice.
Can't buy multiple box sets in a week.
I got a kid, man. I can't
Yeah.
afford it.
Once in
Awesome.
a while, I can.
Right, yeah, here and there. Treat yourself. Father's Day's coming up, right? Get a box set.
Katie's gonna be taking me to the archives. That's gonna be fun.
There you go. Nice. Okay,
Yeah.
another archive shout out, which again,
Oh, hell yeah.
super cool with. I love
the
archive.
archive and Vinegar Syndrome a lot.
Oh yeah, man. Good stuff.
All right, so like, what did you watch this week?
So I'm really proud of myself this week. I made a point. I was like, I'm not going to come into another episode and be like, well, I just watched what we are talking about because I don't have any time. You
We
know
switched
what?
bodies for a second.
Right. I can find time if I make it a priority, which just usually ends up meaning like I watch on my phone while, my family's doing whatever.
I did that with Brain Damage. I started it the night before and I fell asleep. And then
Yeah.
when like Sammy was playing like in the living room, I was just like watching it on my phone.
Right. Yeah. You can make time if you make time.
With
right?
headphones on.
Yeah.
I'm not letting
Right.
you hear Elmer say weird things.
That's good. You didn't let him hear the Elmer song?
Oh, no.
Oh my God.
That was great last week.
I was so glad I got that clip and put it into the episode. But anyway, yeah, so I made time for myself to watch a couple titles. And so I watched two, not the ones that I talked about wanting to watch last episode because there's so much I want to watch.
I was going to ask you how the bat was. I forgot.
No, I didn't watch The Bat, and I didn't watch The Brain That Couldn't Die or Didn't
Wouldn't Die.
Yeah, Wouldn't Die.
Reanimator. I was reading something. I think Jeffrey Combs said that movie was like an influence on the Reanimator.
Oh, cool. See, I got it. The list is so long, man. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna watch those. But what I ended up watching were actually a couple campy 80s horror films because I'm like, you know what? Let's honor this time frame.
You can't go wrong.
you can't go wrong with. So
the worst ones will be the best ones, honestly.
Right? For some reason, my brain saw New Year's Evil on a title like list, and I'm like, you know what? I want to watch that right now.
Have you heard of it up until then or not?
No, it was the first time that I'd heard of it. And I looked it up real quick. I'm like, okay, this looks cool. Dude, this is maybe one of the best like original soundtracks when it comes to kind of like that early punk-ish / I don't know, getting into the 80s era, punky. What do they call that? New wave?
Yeah, New Wave.
New wave. Okay. I was having trouble
Or like
coming up with that term.
Almost.
Yeah, so definitely 100% the best new wave original soundtrack for a movie I've ever heard, but had some good punk influences in there. I highly recommend, just for the music alone, New Year's Evil. Also, the mask, the voice changer that the guy uses in that movie, it's all solid. It's a really solid film. And I really like that actor. I can't remember his name. Who was he? Okay, yeah, Richard Sullivan was Kip Nevin or Neven.
Nevin, yeah.
Yeah, super solid performance by him. And then the son, Derek Sullivan, was played by Grant Kramer. Now, when the son pulled the pantyhose over his face and pierced his own ear, that was a out of nowhere intensity level that I was like, oh, wow, that is cool.
Oh, he was in Killer Clowns.
Bro, that performance was really, really good. So anyway, highly recommend that. And then, crazy. 1980, New Year's Evil. Don't wait till New Year's. Check it out today. Whatever.
I usually watch it around New Year's.
Right? I'm going to start watching it around New Year's because that's what it should be.
It's so
right?
fun to do that with all these slasher movies.
Right? Yeah. But then I also, I found this, a good list of these, 80s horror films, and I hadn't seen before, and I know it's one of your
You should look at the show notes, too.
Oh, yeah? Do you have it in there?
I don't know. I'm going to guess which one. I forget which one this is.
Oh, Slumber Party Massacre.
Oh, yeah.
Bro, for sure. So Slumber Party Massacre popped up in the same list that I was looking at for New Year's Evil. And I was like, okay, this is different. The drill. Okay. I haven't seen we've watched some stuff where drills are used. Like, what was the movie where the scene where they like press the guy's head into like a drill bit kind of deal?
City of the Living Dead from Fulci.
Right. Yeah. So I was like, okay, this is cool. I haven't seen like a slasher style with a drill before because I don't know. It's just something I haven't watched.
There's also the Driller Killer, Abel Ferrara, the guy who directed King of New York.
Oh, okay.
Lieutenant. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But it's not the same kind of drill. It's more of a hand drill in that one.
Yeah, this one's like a really long, like kind of auger kind of deal.
Yeah, it's supposed to symbolize the penis.
Makes sense. It's very phallic.
Yeah, it's a feminist take on slasher movies.
Well, that's something I liked post watching the movie. Like, I didn't realize.
The whole trilogy is Roger Corman picked women as directors for it.
Right. Every movie has a female director, which is awesome. And I was like, okay, this is like just a regular super campy, horror film. And there is a lot of nudity, and a lot of like, girls running around in their 90s kind of thing. And I was like, okay, this kind of seems standard. But then come to find out, it really is.
Oh, you got to watch the second one.
And then when the women kill the killer, maybe, who knows, I don't know, not spoiling anything, but when the women rise up and like that kind of like power at the end is really cool. It's really good stuff. So yeah, this film, 1982 Slumber Party Massacre, highly recommend this as well. Check it out. You get a lot of fun from the very beginning. Yeah, check it out.
The second one's a musical.
You told me that, and I'm super excited. I'm going to watch that one. Right. That's on the list immediately.
Yeah,
I was like, a musical horror? I don't know if I've ever... Okay, well, is Sweeney Todd technically a horror? Would you call it a horror?
It definitely is, yeah.
That's the only horror musical I've ever seen then, I think.
You've never seen Phantom of the Opera?
Is that a horror?
I'd say so. It's like one of the original like famous monster movies, too.
I guess.
Like the Universal Monsters, that was one of them.
Yeah, okay, yeah, you're right. No, I just, yes, I've seen Phantom of the Opera.
I saw that on Broadway. It was amazing.
Yeah.
I used to be a theater kid.
Makes sense. I mean nothing by that. Or maybe I don't know.
I understand it.
Yeah, sure. But no, I've obviously seen Phantom of the Opera. I guess I don't know. Horror has such like I feel like horror has a set of parameters that need filled. And I guess maybe Phantom does fill it.
Kidnapping a woman.
What?
I said a creepy man kidnapping a woman who thinks his lover for life.
Sure. I haven't watched Phantom probably in like a decade. But does he kill multiple people?
I don't remember.
Right? I can't remember.
I remember a giant scene on the roof on the play, and they brought down the chandelier. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah. Is Phantom more of a psychological thriller?
I think it's it's pretty much like people putting on a play while something is happening.
Right? I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question.
I mean, honestly, Argento's Terror at the Opera, well, it's kind of like that almost. Mm.
Well, I think I'm gonna have to add like horror musicals into my repertoire.
You got to look up Repo the Genetic Opera.
Repo? I'm going to write this down.
That's from Darren Lynn Bousman, the director of Saw 2.
The Genetic Opera?
Yeah. I think Paris Hilton's in it. A bunch of other people are in it. It's fun.
Huh. All right, cool. Well, listen, listeners, patrons, you check that out too. Repo the Genetic Opera, if you have not. Cool.
Came out like 2009, cool. I think.
Nice. Well, yeah, I'm happy and I'm proud of myself for having watched a couple things that I just decided I was going to watch and talk about. So, cool. All right, man. Well, that is, what we've done, what we've watched. Life is good. Things are going. We have the internet working. Everything's uploading properly. I'm not going to jinx it.
Wrestling is looking crazy right now. I'm really happy.
What is?
Wrestling.
Oh, what's going on?
In New Japan and AEW are going to have a show together. And Bryan Danielson's going to wrestle Kazuchika Okada. It's going to be a best of a best kind of match, like two of the best people in the world.
Nice. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah,
Love that. Love that.
Yeah.
When is that all taking place?
June 25th.
Okay, June 25th. Where at? Do you know?
Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
Nice. Okay, cool.
You want me to read off the matches? Or they only have two announced so far anyway.
Well, no, go ahead. Yeah. What do you got?
Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay for the United States title in New Japan.
Okay.
It's going to be pretty awesome. Their match at Wrestle Kingdom in January, which is like their WrestleMania, New Japan's WrestleMania, was amazing. It was like one of the best, in my opinion.
Nice. Okay. Is gosh, what's the Giant Panda's wrestling name?
What?
The Giant Panda. What's its name?
I don't know. Oh, Angela something.
Angela?
Yeah, it's something like that. Hold on, give me
Is
one
it?
second.
Okay, I gotta look it up. When you sent me that on Twitter, I'd never seen that before. I was like, oh, dude, that's legit.
Yeah, her name is
Andreza.
Yeah.
Andreza Giant Panda. Dude, the thing literally standing outside of a ring is as tall as the top rope. It's wild. Wild. So if you're a wrestling fan and you have not heard of Andreza Giant Panda, please go check that out. Mikey turned me on to that this week, and Jimmy already knew about that, and it was hilarious. So thank you for that. Thank you.
Shout out to Jimmy.
Bro.
Hope he's doing well.
Yeah, shout out to Jimmy Pukes. Hope he's all right, doing life and living, and I can't wait for the next
It's going to be a good one.
dab of death. You guys are diving into
Don't eat before you watch it, listening to it.
Ooh, yeah, a little foreshadowing. Diving into some new true crime. So don't eat. Or do. That's on you. Anyway, all right. So, yeah, welcome back, everybody. We're really glad you decided to join us this week. we are going to present you an episode where you can eat. Don't worry. This is not quite like our dive into custard.
Or dive into Cannibal Holocaust and Faces of Death.
Well, yeah, Cannibal Holocaust, Faces of Death. And for some reason, brain dead when we just went way too far into the custard scene.
It was gross.
Yeah, bro. But yeah, you can eat for this episode, I think. Yeah, we're really glad you guys decided to come back. If it's your first time joining us, thank you for stopping in. We do want to tell you all about our membership program. You can talk to Mikey on the side over here about it, but essentially, $3 a month, you get a membership card. It gets you 5 free rentals a week. Anything extra, maybe we give you on the house. You got to pay for your candy, your popcorn, your sodas, of course. You may run into a few different demons, sleep paralysis, like half
I hate to
demon,
cut this
half
off,
human.
but it's okay for me to put my monster here, right?
What?
Wait, who put something in my drink?
What is in your drink? Oh, son of a... God damn. It looks like Scabby has possessed old Beef Juice Esquire, which is Mikey's name this week. I don't know. You started like, I don't know, convulsing. You were floating in the air.
My eyes went white, kind of like in Scanners.
A little bit, yeah. I was telling everybody that your name this week is Beef Juice Esquire, so
yes.
you've really
I am the
opened
best attorney,
yourself
Beef
up.
Juice Esquire, at Valente Associates.
And this is my very first week changing my name, but I won't tell you what it is.
I got mine from a prank call show. You said poop.
I couldn't think of anything.
It took me a while too. I was like looking up like penis nicknames on Google.
Dude, you put work into yours. I was just like, poop.
I couldn't think of anything, so I'm just like, oh, Beef Juice Esquire made me laugh.
Beef Juice Esquire. From the partnership, Beef Juice, Juice Beef Esquire, and
Valente and Associates.
Valente and Associates.
I gotta show you
Whatever.
a prank call later.
Holy shit, dude. Wild. Okay, anyway, we're super glad you guys came back. Yeah, so join the membership club, $3 a month. You get 5 movies, whatever. And none of that's real anyway. But, just throwing it out there, if you go over to vhsdoom.com, you can buy a staff shirt and join our team. please, I could really use some new blood around here. You know, Mikey's great, but the other guys that work here, they stress me out. So yeah, buy a shirt.
Labia.
Oh, Leon, God, he is such a drag.
Mike Cockring.
Yeah, Mike Cockring is he's a partier, I think. I think I saw him doing some coke on like a DVD. I mean, a VHS.
I mean, he's the
case.
franchisee, so I can't even say anything about that.
You know what? He can do what he wants. He's I think he's really into like Fish. I don't know, something like that. You know, the band Fish.
Oh. Oh, I've been meaning to say this somewhere at least. Okay, so Speaking of stoner like jam bands, I can't stand Grateful Dead.
Okay.
And them having a cool name and logo pisses me off because their music sucks.
Ooh, you are opening yourself up for a lot of like
other angry
harsh
stoners.
words. Yeah. So, yeah,
I'm getting
you heard it here.
2 days, so if they want to say something, it's Mikey X Mutant on Twitter.
Mikey will be out of Twitter jail in another couple days. Mikey X Mutant on Twitter. If you would like to argue with him, he's not afraid to go to jail. I'll just say that much. So,
I just did 6 days again.
but he you heard it here on episode 10 of the VHS Doom podcast. Mikey hates the Grateful Dead.
And Guns
he
N'
thinks
Roses.
their music sucks, and he hates that they have a good name and logo because they're awful.
Same with Guns N' Roses.
Okay, yeah, they're pretty garbage. Anyway, all right, well, let's not lose any more listeners before we get started. So this week, we're diving in to Frank Henenlotter's Frankenhooker. Everyone, step up close. Here we go. We have our nice little VHS player and our tiny little tube TV. Go ahead. Please hit play. Hit play.
The motion picture Frankenstein. In 1935, horror turned to terror with The Bride of Frankenstein. In 1990, the makers of Basket Case and Brain Damage bring you...
Want a date?
Frankenhooker. Jeffrey Franken has a plan.
I just want to bring you back, Elizabeth.
He has the ingenuity.
I need female body parts.
He has everything he needs, except the raw materials.
Just hold still. Excellent. Oh, my God. Bunyan!
Wow! Jeffrey's creation is alive.
Looking for some action?
Oh, yeah.
She's sexy.
Want a date? You going out?
I'm on my way home, but thanks anyway.
And she's sutured to please.
Listen, I'm looking for a very tall, attractive woman. She's purple. She's got fresh scars on her.
She's in the bar!
Now, a motion picture like no other. A tender story of love and romance.
Want a date?
A gripping tale of lust and revenge. Frankenhooker.
Incredible.
Some assembly may be required.
So, let's jump into the back of the box and get rolling. So, Frankenhooker is a 1990 American black comedy horror film. Black comedy horror film. All right.
It's called a horror comedy. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, that caught me off guard there. But anyway, directed by Frank Henenlotter, it is very loosely inspired by Mary Shelley's 1818 novel Frankenstein, or the modern Prometheus. The film stars James Lorinz as a medical school dropout named Jeffrey Franken, and the former Penthouse pet Patty Mullen as the title character. I did not know that. Interesting. She is a Penthouse model. Huh. Okay. How about that? Dude, you learn something new every day, and I learned it right from the notes here. Huh. Okay. Well, if you are dirty, you dirty customers, you can go look up Patty Mullen and Penthouse. All right, cool. Good to know. All right, so this movie was directed by Frank Henenlotter, as stated, and that is why it was a part of our double feature with Brain Damage last week. This movie was written by both Henenlotter and Bob Martin. It was produced by James Glickenhaus, and it starred James Lorinz, Patty Mullen, and Louise Lasser, and more. The cinematography was by Robert M. Baldwin, and it was edited by Kevin Tent. The music in this production was by Joe Renzetti. Joe Renzetti, it looks like he made the music, or did the music for quite a few movies. So starting in 1980, he had a couple things before this, but Fatso, The Exterminator, Dead and Buried,
I
Under
just
the
talked about that
Rainbow.
one too.
Yeah. Vice Squad. He did 86, Wanted Dead or Alive. Oh, here we go. Okay. Oh, shit. So in 1988, he did Poltergeist 3. He did Child's Play in 88 as well. Two great films in a year. He did Lisa in 1989, and then he did Basket Case 2 in 90, Frankenhooker in 90, and then Basket Case 3, The Progeny in 91. That looks like that was the last of his.
We gotta do one
works.
on the Basket Case trilogy, maybe 3 episodes, because those are batshit insane, like fun movies.
Bro, I would love to. Yeah, so
The first one's a straight like horror exploitation movie from like the early 80s, and the other two go into this like weird kind of route. I don't even know how to explain it.
nice. Yeah, I think we should definitely do that, and I think that's probably in the show notes if I had to guess. I think you probably already put that in there if I had to guess. So, but yeah, I thought it would be important that we touch on Joe Renzetti and his catalog really quick because that's quite impressive. Anywho, so the release date was in April of 1990, and it was actually released at the Houston International Film Festival, believe it or not. The runtime was 85 minutes of insanity, body parts, electricity,
Super crack.
people exploding, super crack. Yeah, 85 minutes of fun. And unfortunately, the bad news, at least for Henenlotter in this production, was that the IMDb estimate of production costs was about $2.5 million to their best guess. I tend to believe IMDb on those types of numbers. And unfortunately, the box office for this film was only $205,000.
I wonder what
so
the
they
home
lost.
sales were for it,
You got to wonder. I don't know.
especially
total.
on VHS, because like these movies may not do well in box office, but like they make their money back in like VHS and like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think so. Home distribution, you do end up making a lot on.
Especially
on
because
that,
like
right?
the 80s and like 90s around that time is like there was such a boom in this kind of stuff.
Yeah, the direct-to-video, like we talked about in our like slasher episode, in the early 90s, like late 80s, early 90s, you were really starting to get the boom of like direct-to-video and home video, and just VHS rental stores.
Porn
in
and horror
general
movies
were-
pretty much did it.
Yeah, for sure. So I don't know. Maybe, you know what? I'll give you that task. You look up what the overall, profit of this movie is. But I don't know, unfortunately. So, anywho, anything you want to talk about before we jump into the plot?
Oh, I'm
Mikey?
looking up the sales for it.
Okay.
I don't know. So everything I find now is just literally just trying to sell me it.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, I'm going to just say I love the theatrical release poster above the title. The quote is, "A terrifying tale of sluts and bolts."
That's the one I got when we went to Monster Mania Con.
Bro, that's a good one.
One of my
That's a really
favorites.
good one.
I like the other one too.
Want a date?
Yeah. You know, I think it was the VHS. It lit up with when it said it or something.
Oh, yeah?
Like the packaging.
Oh, okay. Kind of like reflective or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Cool. Nice. All right. Well, let's jump into the plot. All right, guys. So here we go. Jeffrey Franken, a young man who lives in New Jersey, is a worker at a power plant and a scientist who specializes in bioelectricity. He's about to marry his fiancée, Elizabeth. At the birthday party of Elizabeth's father, Jeffrey presents him with an automatic lawnmower as a gift. But when Elizabeth tries to demonstrate it, she's caught in its path and gruesomely killed. So
he's in the corner like, stop, don't do it.
Just don't. Wait, what
Not in that
are
direction.
you doing?
No,
just stop.
I want to talk about the scene before that, though.
Bro, I think we should. Yeah, so this is a really brief overview. So I think we should talk on a few notes about this opening.
With that weird brain eye guy.
Right, yeah, that's a good place to open from, right? So Jeffrey, who we find out at this point, maybe from like a conversation with the mother and Elizabeth, like Elizabeth's mom, that he was in medical school, but then he dropped out, or they couldn't keep him or something like that.
I think he was too crazy to be in any medical school.
Right, I think that's really what it was. But he obviously saw some sort of connection between electricity and life and whatever. So in the very beginning, he's just in his fiance's kitchen messing with like a brain attached to an eye and like giving it life just in their kitchen.
And then it's just like in a fish tank after that.
Right, yeah. So it's like his little pet after that, right? Yeah. So anyway, it starts out, like I said earlier, it starts out like the beginning of a trauma film, essentially. This like idyllic, like summer party, dad's birthday, all American kind of deal.
Almost like a sarcastic kind of thing towards it.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Like just sarcastically good, and nearly immediately, everything goes to shit.
It's so fucking funny, though.
Right. So because Jeffrey is a scientist and good with electronics, he made for his fiance's father's birthday a remote-controlled robot kind of essentially lawnmower, which for some reason had an open face, like almost like a snowblower. So it was essentially designed
and like
to
the
eat
sharpest
humans.
blades too.
Right. So Elizabeth being, I think they kind of allude to a couple things. Like it was kind of weird that they were talking about how like her weight in the beginning. I think they did that to like, that way they could not have to do too much like prosthetic work later. So they put on like a fat suit on Elizabeth, essentially, right?
Was it a fat suit?
Did you notice that? Yeah, it was either a really big dress or some sort of fat suit.
I thought it was just a really big dress.
Yeah, maybe. Whatever you want to call it. Like a big dress to make her look like heavy. And they specifically called out her like obsession with pretzels, which her mom's like, you need to lay off the pretzels. Like that's all fucked up. That pretzels are good, and fuck her mom, because I love pretzels and I'll eat all the pretzels I want.
Same.
So, right. So her mom can eat.
She can't
eat a bag
hurt me.
of
She's
dicks.
not real.
She's not real. But you know who is real? He's behind you right now. Oh, jeez. You know, Jimmy's got to put this episode out, bro. Scabby's back. He's back. Super terrifying. Anyway,
He's even bigger now. I don't understand what happened.
is he like as big as Andreza Panda?
No,
wrestling?
he's like the size of this room.
Oh my god!
He's kind of like
is there a shadow? Is it like smoky in here or something? Just is there a shadow?
There's a
filling
pile
the
of
room?
ash on the floor. I'm scared.
Oh my god! Is that just a Scabby shit?
No, I don't know what it is. I think it's a message.
Oh, is there a piece of paper in there?
No.
No, I think I see a piece
Is
of
there,
paper.
there's a
Here,
hand.
wait, hold on. Oh yeah, there is a hand. Let me get the paper out of it. It's a note. It says Beef Juice Esquire to die. Wow.
Damn.
That's real bleak.
We've only been at this for 30 minutes. I've already got my first death here on the show.
Holy shnikes. You got to stop talking about Grateful Dead, man. Anyway, okay, let's continue. I think Scabby is a Grateful Dead fan. Yep. Yeah, he definitely is into some Jerry Garcia. Or if you like Cherry Garcia.
Maybe
he
like
could be
confused.
confused.
From.
Anyway, all right. So
back to it.
let's
Sorry.
continue. Yes, you're fine. So Jeffrey, in his grief, after Elizabeth chops herself up to death. In that scene where the lawnmower comes for her and everyone's like, no, and they don't actually move, and it's like a really slow death. But then the lawnmower gets to her and just like shreds her. I think they just took like a bucket of blood and like threw it at like that gnome or whatever.
Oh yeah, they did. I thought of your daughter when I saw the gnome.
Right. I was like, oh wow, look at that. Yep. Gnome Alone. Gnome Alone 2 right here.
There's also a movie called Romeo and Juliet.
Oh my God.
I was going through kids' movies for Sam to watch, and I saw that. I had to say this on here.
Nice. Nomeo. We'll save that till the end, maybe for the kid's suggestion. Anywho, so yeah, Jeffrey, in his grief about losing his fiance, begins plotting to use his knowledge of circuits to rebuild Elizabeth and bring her back to life. His grief drives him to have mock dinner dates with the few pieces of Elizabeth that he could salvage. Oh, God. As well as performing self-trepanations with a power drill to help him calm down. He decides to make the perfect new body for Elizabeth by harvesting the body of New York City prostitutes. Well, there's a lot to unpack there as well. So the dinner scene where he has her body parts, what is it, like her head, of course, but then I think there's like an arm and a foot.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so he has that in like essentially like a cooler, but that's filled with like an estrogen juice.
Like a purple juice.
That's how he keeps... What?
It's like a purple like reagent kind of thing.
Yeah. So coming back to like a juice, like ode to brain damage, and instead of blue, it's purple or whatever.
Instead of reanimator green.
Right, yeah. So this juice is like an estrogen kind of mix. It kind of comes out in notes later that he's only able to keep female bodies alive because of his serum. But one of the cool parts of this scene, or kind of like the transition after Elizabeth dies, is when they're going over the schematic of the body. That was a really intense, whoever put that together, like on the artistry team, there was a lot of detailed, like, electric information about the body. Did you catch that? Yeah, that was a cool overview, but he's really like, oh, I got to do this. Oh, but if I do this, it might mess up. Oh, but I got to do this. And like, he's just going over like detail by detail of her entire body. So that was a pretty interesting scene there. Yeah. So the dinner date, that was something. Do you have any points in here you wanted to make?
I thought the drilling was creepy.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. So he starts to get stressed about everything that he's doing. He
starts getting weird ideas as he's doing it too.
Right, yeah. And before he relieves his pain, his mom comes in and talks to him, right?
Yeah. That weird conversation about the brain thing too.
Super weird. So his mom is aware that he has a brain with an eye in a fish tank, and she says, "Oh, he's doing really well." And mom's like, "Listen, if anything's, if you're feeling stressed or anything's, crazy, you let me know." And he's like, "I will." And she's like, "Okay, honey, love you," and walks out of his like insane room. So,
what a weird room.
It was a very weird interaction, but so anyway, he starts to get like super stressed, and his way of dealing with it is he pulls out a drill bit and a drill, and he drills into his own brain after looking at a little brain model to relieve some pressure for his brain. But it kind of, I guess, helps him figure out what he's doing. That was creepy though.
Cheese.
Yeah, bro, that was wild. Anyway,
wait,
so at this point,
do you think he does it in the same spots over and over again, or do you think it's like?
I don't know. I think the impression I got that it was that he was looking at the model of the brain to see the point that he needed to drill into for the emotion that he was feeling, stress or something. I don't know. That was he looked at a mapped brain though to figure out where to drill into his head. So maybe he does the same spot over and over. But I don't know. At one point, you know what? He does say, "Oh, I've already made the hole." And he does it again.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I was just thinking after he said that, like, is it always like that?
I don't know. Well, you know what? Before we move forward, do you want to talk about this now, or would you like to wait until later? Where you were thinking, maybe could this be a representation of Jeffrey Dahmer?
Yeah, like Jeffrey Dahmer. His name is Jeffrey, and he's a weirdo who like is drilling holes in heads. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's like, he doesn't eat anybody.
No.
But I mean, the glasses, the look.
That's what first it was. His name was Jeffrey. He had those glasses, and he was like using like a drill in his head, but like, and he had a zombie with him. I don't know.
I think there could be some alliteration, or like, I mean, a little bit of connection, but I don't think. I think it is definitely because his last name is what? It's
Franken.
Jeffrey Franken, right? So maybe they're combining the two. Who knows? But he's not. I mean, he is a serial killer, technically, but not like. He probably doesn't see himself as a serial killer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But does anybody? Does any serial killer see themselves as a serial
I think
killer?
Edmund Kemper
Probably.
did.
Yeah, I think he knew he was.
He's crazy. Oh my god.
The dude is wild. Anyway, okay, let's move forward. So after this, Jeffrey does go into the city because he decides he's going to put together the best body that he can for Elizabeth. And doing that means finding prostitutes for him. So he's driving through 1990 New York City.
Probably 42nd Street.
42nd Street, looking for a good time. And he runs into quite a few prostitutes. So after meeting several girls and their abusive pimp, Zorro. Hey, here's Zorro.
Shout out to
again.
Zorro from Brain Damage.
Shout out to Zorro.
He didn't have that name in that movie, though.
No, well, I don't. What was his
I don't
name? He
remember.
probably was uncredited.
What was his name again?
I don't know. His name is.
Why did it send me to a One Piece Reddit? I'm not an anime nerd.
Yeah, you are. You
Tiny
know it.
bit.
Are you a weeb? Damn, bro.
Power of Monster Energy. Not really. I mean, I like some things like
Joseph Gonzalez.
There we go.
Yeah. So Joseph Gonzalez played Naked Man in Shower in Brain Damage, and
was that he
Zorro the
credited
pimp.
as?
No, I'm just crediting him as that myself. The power of monster compels you. Anywho,
This is my second one today.
Really?
Yeah.
You're gonna have a heart attack.
Yeah, I know.
No, I hope you don't. I'm just kidding. Maybe that's how Scabby's gonna kill you, though.
Your wife is going to send me violent texts now.
Possible. So my wife is I'm not going to dox
An
myself.
awesome person.
Never mind. She's an awesome person. I was going to tell you my wife's profession, but no, I'm not going to do that. I don't know you that well, customers.
Get out of here.
Ask me about myself first before you ask me about my wife, you creeps. Anywho, yes, so his name was Joseph Gonzalez. And he doesn't have a ton of stuff credited to him, but he looked like a 1980s wrestler.
Yeah, that's what I said last week, and he's also in like Death Wish 3.
Yeah, Death Wish 3, yeah, as one of the gang members, I believe.
I think that should be your homework for next week.
Yeah, figure out who Jeffrey Gonzalez is? Or
No, just watch the movie. It's really good.
Oh, okay. No, I don't hate that.
You don't have to watch any of the sequels to know like the story, because the same thing keeps happening to him.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Where some bad thing happens and he becomes like a vigilante. Charles Bronson, one of the best actors alive, or dead. Sorry, best actors ever.
One of the best actors dead.
I meant like ever, and I meant
I'm gonna start saying that. Be like, oh man, Sean Connery, one of the best actors dead.
whoever did it.
I love it. I'm going to put that on a t-shirt
Sorry.
now. No, don't be sorry. This is epic. All right,
Sometimes
let's
I stutter
move
and say
forward.
weird things.
Dude, I love that about you. I really do. Okay, so, yes, he meets Zorro, who is a muscle-bound, temperamental crack dealer
And pimp.
and pimp. Jeffrey tricks Zorro into letting him rent every one of the girls for a single night to find the one with the perfect body for Elizabeth. Inspired by a news report about crack cocaine causing the deaths of many New York prostitutes, he then develops super crack, which he finds causes living beings to explode.
It's awesome.
Let's pause there for a second. When he figures out super crack, so what he meets with one prostitute. He tells that prostitute, I want to meet with a bunch of girls. The prostitute takes him into like this bathroom and like this back
I think it was the
room of a
the
bar.
building from Basket Case.
Yeah, I think maybe it was. It was a bar. But
Oh no,
I mean that would make
I was
sense.
talking about like the not hotel. What I guess it was a hotel. No, what was it called in the 80s when they had like these buildings where it was just like you just pay by the hour to be in there, like hotels, I guess, right?
Yeah, kind of like a
CD hotel,
slimy motel.
Yeah.
Yeah. As far as like actual production goes, I think that Henenlotter had a building that he rented out for brain damage that I talked about maybe after.
Was that the
call.
one where he puked on the radiator?
Yeah, it was like a film building, I think. Anyway, I might not even include this because I can't remember the exact. I said what the address was though, in that last episode. So if you guys go back one episode and listen to Brain Damage, episode 9, at the very end, I talk about the building where Henenlotter filmed.
Wow, this is episode 10.
essentially.
That's wild.
I know, yeah, 10th episode. So congrats.
10 weeks in a row. That's
Anyway.
crazy.
Yeah, we're doing it. So we'll keep it up for you guys because we like this, and I like talking to Mikey.
It's making me want to watch
about
movies again, so it's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Okay, so yes, he develops super crack. So when he is testing his super crack, he tests it on a guinea pig.
And he says the weirdest
Which-
things to it, like the grossest things.
He does. So I'm going to include right now a scene of him, Jeffrey, giving a guinea pig super crack.
If they don't want to do it, they can just say no. The super crack is placed on the preheated hot plate. Tube into cage. Now we begin. Now we have a nice cloud. Nice and deep now. That's right. Oh, look how sexy you are. I bet you get $1,000 a night. Can I buy you a drink? Is the hotel nearby? Can we get there by walking? Oh, if you weren't a guinea pig, I'd jump in that cage myself. Yes, well, you know the moves. Those moves are $1,000 moves. Now, take a nice, deep breath. Holy Jesus Christ. This could get ugly.
As you can see, super crack is nothing to mess around with, and he finds out very quickly it causes people to explode. So deciding that he's doing nothing wrong, as crack is probably going to kill the prostitutes anyway, Jeffrey lures them into a hotel or motel room under the guise of a medical examination, which I assume they probably just think is something kinky that he's doing.
They did. That's what they thought it was.
Right. He marks all of the girls.
He like a child doctor.
He does, with a big, thing
Like
on
my
his
parents just
forehead.
bought me this costume to wear for Halloween kind of thing.
Right, exactly. So he marks each girl's body part that he wants for Elizabeth. Unfortunately, however, as he begins to have second thoughts, the prostitutes find the bag of
Because they're like, where's
supercrack
all the money?
and go crazy, right? They want to get paid.
He was initially
Time's almost up.
He wasn't going to tell them he wasn't paying them. So
Right, yeah. Well, I mean, he said several times, like, I have money. Money's not the
well, yeah,
issue.
he was trying to
Like, he
get them
pulled
in
out.
because it's kind of stupid
Right,
that Zorro didn't ask him for money before.
Right. Yeah, that's a plot hole as far as like transactional prostitution goes. But whatever. So he's marking like each body part that he likes on different women, and he's going to add them all to Elizabeth.
I laughed so hard at the scene.
Bro, he's about to back out, and then they open up his bag when they're like, we need the money, and they see crack, and they go crack
And
crazy.
one of them asked if anybody had a stem to smoke out of.
Dude. Well, they're having a grand old time dancing around.
He's like, no,
and then
no.
all of a sudden, they're holding him down, so he can't even move and like.
Yeah, because he was trying to get the crack away from them, and they wanted it.
Bro, I think I used like the term symphony of blood for Dead Alive, like the lawnmower scene. Yeah, so it is I'm going to call it a symphony of human explosions. So it just goes insane. These girls are all blowing up like one by one. And like, obviously it's not like the biggest budget film in the world. So, you can, when they blow up, like it's funny, they transition from like living to like this like clay doll kind of thing. And then boom, but awesome. It's pretty cool. That's a lot of fun. So Zorro at this point's like freaking out because he's not seeing his girls and he hasn't been paid. So he runs up the stairs and starts banging on the door. Well, the girl who first brought him up to the room with everybody, like the one that he met first, she's the last one to blow up, and she's gonna kill him because she's so mad at him. So she has a knife out, coming for Jeffrey, and then she explodes, and the door explodes onto Zorro. And Jeffrey essentially like runs out and, he grabs up all the body parts and then goes out the window with like a plastic bag of body parts.
What if he worked with Herbert West?
Oh, you know what? That'd be a match made in heaven, except for the explosions. Right? Yeah. So yeah, he feels really bad at that point, right? Because he tells all of the dead girls in the room, like, I'm going to put you all back together. I'm so sorry. I'm going to put you all back together. But Elizabeth is first, right? So he knows his mission is still the same. But he does feel bad for killing them all. So anyway, yeah. So back to the notes here. So as I said, Zorro hears the commotion. He rushed to the room. He's knocked out by one of the flying heads of his girls. Jeffrey hurriedly puts all the body parts into the trash bags, runs out. After picking the perfect body parts that he had marked before and sewing them in Elizabeth's head into a single body, Jeffrey uses the lightning from a nearby storm to shock Elizabeth's new body to life.
I thought that TV thing was funny.
Bro.
When they called out some really mad scientists.
Yeah, it's a weatherman dressed like Dracula saying, like, if there's any mad scientists out tonight, this would be the night for an experiment or whatever. Bro, that was so funny. That was so campy. I love that. So yeah, there's been like, he knew a storm was coming like at a specific time anyway, so he needed to be ready. And he, out of his mother's garage, like raises her body up like 10 stories into the air so she can get hit by lightning. So yeah, he raises the table up. She gets shocked. He brings her back down. She's standing up alive. However, her body and face do move quite awkwardly, and she can only repeat what the previous girls said before they died. Want a date? She's just says a lot of prostitute terms. Unfortunately, at that time, the Frankenhooker escapes the basement, or they call it a basement, it's a garage. The Frankenhooker escapes the garage and begins looking for customers who end up exploding from electricity when they try to get intimate with her. So a couple times somebody tries to kiss her or whatever. She finds that old man on the street, like middle-aged kind of old man who's looking. He reminded me of somebody. The way he looked is like the screenshot. Is it from American Guinea Pig?
No, are you thinking of the guy from the second Human Centipede?
Human Centipede, right? Doesn't he kind of look like that guy? A little bit, right? Yeah. So anyway, he's a real creepy looking guy with glasses.
That was my profile pic on Twitter for a while.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's why I thought of it so quickly. But anyway, yeah, they start to get frisky, and the electricity causes him to explode. And a couple other people that she kisses or touches, they explode. And yeah, that is that. So Jeffrey goes looking for Elizabeth and finds her at a bar. She had made her way to the same bar where Jeffrey met Zorro. Unfortunately, Zorro is also there, and upon hearing her mention his name...
You got my bitch's arm.
Yeah, you got my bitch's arm. Right. So Zorro marks his women with a Z and a circle cut into their arm. Right, like Zorro.
I didn't put that together until now.
Right, it's actually the Zorro mark.
I love this movie for so long. I feel so stupid about that. It's
right?
funny.
I know. It's like little things you pick up, right? So anyway, so she hears, or Zorro hears her mention like Jeffrey in her like, spiel of
Jersey
words
boy.
she's saying. Jersey boy. So he comes over, recognizes his mark on her arm. He angrily strikes her so hard that her head mostly detaches from her body. And then there's a bunch of like electrical
that
craziness
effect was
happens.
awesome.
Yeah. Jeffrey evades Zorro and takes Elizabeth home because Jeffrey finds her at the bar, right? Takes her home to repair her neck and revive her once again. After bolting her head more securely to the new body, Jeffrey wakes Elizabeth up, finding her memory restored. So he got the right Elizabeth back. It's no longer a combination of all the hookers. At first, Elizabeth is impressed that Jeffrey brought her back, but becomes furious when she realizes that her body is now made of hooker parts. And she's also furious about how Jeffrey obtained the parts. Jeffrey tries to explain himself, but at that moment, Zorro, who had followed them back to Jeffrey's garage, walks in and attacks and decapitates
With a machete, he just
Jeffrey.
lobs his head off.
With the machete, like cleanly. Zorro then attempts to drag Elizabeth away with him, justifying himself by claiming that most of her body now belongs to him because it was his girl.
God, this part was so gross and weird.
Right. However, you kind of saw this earlier when Jeffrey put all of the hooker body parts into his little cooler with the juice.
It reminded me of the end of Reanimator.
The body parts kind of come alive, right? Kind of like the intestines or whatever, right? In Reanimator. So, the spare body parts were reanimated by the storm. Lightning came down and hit the cooler, which brought everything to life. So those reanimated body parts merged into multiple grotesque limbed
Bride of
monsters.
Reanimator when the fingers in the eye become a creature?
Well, we should not talk too much about other movies that we might talk about on other episodes.
Sorry, these movies make me really happy.
I know. They're so good, man. I know. It's we're living it and loving it. Anywho, live, laugh, love, Mikey. Live, laugh, love.
Oh God, I'm gonna vomit. Hold on.
Mikey just threw up 18 monsters at once. Anyway,
For the past 2 days.
All right, so 2 days, 18.
No water.
Oh my God. I think that'll make your like dick fall off or something, right? Isn't that what happens? I think I read something about that. Or is that Red Bull? Because it's made from like bull semen?
I think it's Red Bull actually.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah. Anyway, welcome to VHS Doom Rental Store. We don't sell Red Bull because it'll make your dick fall off.
It's
okay.
cow jizz.
Yeah, cow jizz.
Cow jizz.
Come take a sit on our cow jizz. What? The meme. Anyway, I'm going to finish this paragraph. So all of those grotesque, merged, limbed monsters overwhelm Zorro and drag him away into their storage cooler to his presumable death along with his drugs. Elizabeth then decides to revive Jeffrey via the same procedure that he used on her. But as I said earlier, since the process only works on female bodies and is estrogen-based, Elizabeth is forced to put Jeffrey's head on a body made of the hooker's body parts to bring him back. So Jeffrey awakens, and Elizabeth happily says that they'll be together forever, as Jeffrey moans in horror at his new female body and realizes that his Johnson is gone, son. Anyway, okay, so we already talked about cast. You know what? I'm just realizing, looking at the cast notes here. So Patty Mullen played Elizabeth Shelley.
Yeah, like Mary Shelley.
So so I didn't realize it's Franken and Shelley for the two last names. So okay, cool, good to know. The cast we don't really need to go through any other notes there, but that's a cool little note that I didn't realize. Okay, so release notes. Frankenhooker's initial release was delayed because of difficulty obtaining an R rating from the MPAA.
Fuck the MPAA.
Yep, for sure. The director recalls that one representative of the ratings body actually said in a phone call to the production company's secretary, "Congratulations, you're the first film rated S." And she said, "S? For sex?" And they said, "No, S for shit." Bro. Wow.
The MPAA is awful.
Fuck the MPAA for real.
You gotta watch, there's a lot of documentaries on them.
Wow, that's wild. Huh. Okay, well, moving forward, one other production note. To his dismay, Henenlotter's conservative parents insisted on attending the film's premiere in New York City. Henenlotter did express surprise that they were not offended by the exploitive elements. So good on them.
He likes exploitation.
For being open. Right. Good on them for being open to seeing his work, despite what happened in it. As far as actual reception, as of today, the film is a cult classic, 100%. It does have some good modern reviews. Let's see here. The New York Times, Vincent Canby of the New York Times wrote that there's a legitimate sense of the absurd lurking within Frank Henenlotter's Frankenhooker, but it is overshadowed by special effects and elements that recall softcore porn. Jeez. Kevin Thomas of the Los Angeles Times called it a hilarious, totally outrageous grind and gore comedy. Amen. Frankenhooker was named Killer Bee Film of the Year for 1990 by E! Entertainment Television's Attack of the Killer Bees.
What the fuck is that?
I don't know. Never heard of it, but it's here in accolades. Okay. All right. I see you. Don't be popping on camera just to fuck with me, bro. I see you again. I see you. Your eyes roll really far back. Wait, is Scabby behind you? Is that Scabby? Oh, God. Oh, holy shit. Okay, all right. I've decided that when Scabby makes his appearances and possesses you and takes over your body, I'm just going to continue with the show, and we're just going to let that happen, and I'm going to act like nothing's happening. It's like, I don't know how else to deal with the toddler that is Scabby, man. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, God.
Praise God.
All right, but praise God. What?
He's gone.
Oh, I thought you said praise God.
I am Christian now.
Beef Juice Esquire, Christian attorney at law. Jeez Louise. I could see that. Yeah. All right. Anyway, so another reception note. Bill Murray was quoted as saying, "If you see one movie this year, it should be Frankenhooker." That's pretty cool. All right. Henenlotter said that Murray had been editing his film Quick Change and hung out with the Frankenhooker crew. After Murray expressed interest in their film, the distributor attempted to get an endorsement from him. Embarrassed that they would abuse Murray's friendliness, Henenlotter attempted to avoid Murray. When they eventually ran into each other, Henenlotter apologized and explained that he was not responsible. Satisfied with the explanation, Murray volunteered a quotation. So that's pretty cool. I like Bill Murray. So Bill Murray did this like random like reading show with Jan Vogler, who's like a famous cellist. And it was just like Bill Murray reads and he's accompanied by like musicians. It was like I paid a couple $100 per ticket so Carla and I could get really close to the front, and it was one of the best little shows I've ever seen like
That's
in
awesome.
my life. He's a really cool guy. Yeah, it was a ton of fun.
I loved him in Groundhog's Day.
Yeah, he's just great. Like even in like
What's your favorite Bill Murray movie?
favorite Bill Murray movie? Caddyshack was awesome, obviously. Scrooged. Oh man, that's one of my favorite
That's a
Christmas
good movie.
movies. Yep. Let's see here. Ghostbusters, obviously. Meatballs. Oh my God, Meatballs. Did you ever watch Meatballs?
I think I have.
Yeah, I liked him in Meatballs. So I mean, I liked him in like all of those movies I just said, but I really liked Meatballs a lot.
I liked him in Stripes.
Yeah, for sure. Groundhog Day, probably one of my favorite performances. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've seen Meatballs.
Yeah, for sure. It's like
Evan Reitman.
yeah,
Oh.
it's a really fun camp movie, you know. Anyway, okay, so I got way off track there with Bill Murray because
Yeah,
he's just
sorry.
been in so much stuff. But that was a really good show. If you ever get a chance to see Bill Murray in some random show where he reads stories and like plays with or like hangs out with like professional musicians, it's a ton of fun. Anywho, okay, so moving on for home media. Let's see here. It was released on VHS in 1990 by Shapiro Glickenhaus Entertainment, and it had an interactive box which had the titular character exclaim, "Want a date?" when you pressed
That's what
a
I was saying
button.
before. Yeah,
Right, yeah.
I've seen it. I've never owned it. I only have a couple VHS tapes, but not that one.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think I only have the Star Wars original trilogy on VHS.
Oh, that set looks so awesome.
Yeah, I have that set. That's like the only VHSs I have left.
I have. Let's see. I think I have some here. I have Kentucky Fried Movie from John Landis,
Okay.
like Scream, The Crow,
Okay.
like random stuff I found at Goodwill.
Nice. Okay, cool. Yeah,
I think next time I go to the archive, I'll get some VHS tapes. They have a lot.
do you have a VHS player? I don't.
I do.
Okay,
I do. I
I
just need a
don't
new
right now.
TV.
Yeah. That's cool though. That's good.
Yeah.
All right. So, other notes on home media. So, on November 8th, 2011, Synapse Films released Frankenhooker on Blu-ray.
Yes, I had that Blu-ray, and then I have the Arrow Films one too.
Okay, yeah. And so Arrow came out on January 2nd, 2012. So it looks like the Synapse Films one has a reversible cover art with original theatrical poster on one
Yep.
side.
So does Frankenhooker on the Arrow one too.
Okay, and then it looked like it had newly commissioned artwork on the reverse side. Did Arrow have the same?
Yeah, it did.
Okay, cool. Nice. Yeah, but it looks like the Arrow edition includes many UK exclusives, including an audio commentary.
It does. Yeah, I have a region-free player.
Nice. Okay. Yeah.
But that was one of the ones I had before I got the region-free player that actually worked on like a US Blu-ray player.
Well, this sounds great because it says there's an audio commentary from Henenlotter.
That's the one I watched before we did the episode, or we are going to do the episode last week.
So it has an audio commentary from Henenlotter and James Lorinz, and then a documentary titled "Your Dates on a Place."
That's good.
Okay, and then a tour of Gabe Bartolow's effects lab in Los Angeles. That's cool. All right.
Yeah, I love when they do that in those like special features.
Yeah, that's cool. So all those featurettes, as well as trailers for Basket Case 2, and Brain Damage. So that's pretty cool. All right. Well, I think that's going to kind of take us to the end. That's about all the notes I have. Was there anything else that you wanted to touch on for Frankenhooker?
So what did you think of, like, this is your first time watch. What do you think of it? Like,
I think that Frankenhooker is like, it's a really fun, low effort when it comes to like plot, but high effort when it comes to like fun effects.
I feel like the 80s and 90s were just like that at that time, you know?
Yeah, for sure. A lot of films were, right? So the plot's pretty easy to follow. You can get like, you can have a fun time. Maybe, I don't know, toke up or drink a bit and sit down and enjoy a good laugh and watch like some funny things happen and explosions, and you can't beat it. Like, it's a good time. Obviously, don't watch this one with the kids because there are just a ton of naked body parts all over the film.
And didn't you say someone said it was like softcore porn?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, yes and no. There's not like the sex element of it when it comes to like, other than like, I wouldn't even call like when she was like in the city, like looking for a date, like taking that man to the hotel room. It's nothing like, Brain Damage has a lot more sensual sex than Frankenhooker does. But Frankenhooker shows a lot more body parts, right? So like
Literally.
yeah, you're not gonna want to watch either one of these with the kids. But yeah, that's what you're in for. So, and I mean, listen, if there's a movie that has like a really cool garage where the roof opens and you can wheel a table out and you got a trash can full of legs and arms, it's just a fun time. So that's my honest review as a first time watcher. So check it out. Highly recommend. And you know what? Let's start rating these. So let's do, we're going to give it like 5 tapes. You can get up to 5 tapes.
Idea. I like that.
Yeah. Wow, that's the first thing. And I've never even had this idea until right now. I'm going to give, because we didn't get to cover our double feature. I'm going to give Brain Damage I give Brain Damage 5 out of 5 tapes. I think that the plot is a little more developed, and I think that I really like the way Elmer interacts, and it shows kind of the depth and reality in a fun way of, I don't want to say fun, but the seriousness and depth and reality of drug addiction in a way that you can look at in an easy light. So I'm going to give it 5 out of 5 tapes. I think there's a good story there. I think for me, Frankenhooker was a lot of fun, and there was a lot of gore and a lot of like explosions and a lot of just fun stuff. But
weird stuff.
Yeah, a lot of weird stuff. But the story was slightly underdeveloped, so I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 tapes. What about you?
I think I would give the same, honestly, for the same reasons.
You think so?
But I do think I like Frankenhooker better. I think it's my favorite of the two.
Okay, so you'd reverse it. You think you give 5 out of 5 for Frankenhooker, 4 out of 5 for Brain Damage?
I know I'd give it the same thing as you said. But
okay. But you just like it more.
Yeah.
You know what? That's absolutely acceptable. I think that there are some films that you watch that are easy watches, that are just so endearing that you love, that don't necessarily have to be like the highest rated films, even in your own head. You just enjoy it. For me,
oh yeah, I like a lot of weird stuff that's like shot on video. Like I remember, like I told you about. I think I showed you Video Violence. Remember, I got the T-shirt from it when one of the conventions we went to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like super no budget kind of movie. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for me, like one of my tops for a very long time, from the time I was maybe like 21 or 22 until I was like 25, like was Friday, the movie Friday with Ice Cube.
Yeah, I love that movie.
Yeah, and Chris Tucker. Like, it's super easy to watch. It is not critically acclaimed whatsoever. It, like, on my own rating of like the plot and the story and the development and everything, I mean, maybe it's a 3 or 4 out of 5, but I could watch that movie all the time. It's just so much fun.
About Clerks 1.
Yeah, either that and like How High, kind of the same deal, right? Like, yeah. I loved that movie, but same thing. So love what you love. Who cares about the rating? I'm not a critic, but that's just what I'd give these films. So anyway, tons of fun watching both. I think that's all we got. I think that's all I got for this. So what would you say this week, Mikey, are your recommendations for checkouts?
what year is this? Give me 1 second.
You're fine.
1991's The Resurrected by Dan O'Bannon. It was that Lovecraftian movie I talked about earlier today. Or earlier in the show, I mean. I think that one, and then probably the two that you watched, right?
Yeah, so I'm cool recommending Slumber Party Massacre, which was 1982, I believe. And then
I think I'm going to watch that tonight.
you should. You definitely should. I might go watch number 2, the musical, now that you talked about it.
There's a third one too. I don't remember it that much, but I have it.
The third
it came
one,
in a two feature thing.
yeah,
with the second one.
The third one came out in 1990, so it was quite a bit later. And I haven't watched any previews or anything, but I saw at least the poster for it. So I'm going to do 2, and then I'll do 3 at some point.
Okay.
But yeah,
Sounds
so
good.
yeah, we definitely recommend 1991, The Resurrected, Slumber Party Massacre from 1982. I think I'm going to recommend. I'm not going to recommend New Year's Evil until New Year's, but it's such a fun film. If you want to watch
we
it,
should do that with like slasher movies or like horror movies we watch, where it's like a certain holiday.
Yeah, you know what? 4th of July is coming up. Let's think about some kind of 4th of July movie. That'd be fun.
There is by the director Bill Lustig, who directed Maniac. He directed Uncle Sam.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that, man. Yeah, let's look at some 4th of July titles and get a special episode for the holiday. That'd be fun. So, yeah, 1991, that's The Resurrected. 1982, Slumber Party Massacre. I'm going to say, just because we talked about it really briefly, but I like it a lot, 1979's comedy film, Meatballs. If you haven't watched it in a while, you should go check it out. It's a lot of fun. It's one of those like irreverent comedies, and it has a lot of like dated dated comedy, dated references.
Is it like one of those like sex comedy movies?
Kinda, yeah, kinda.
Okay.
Yeah. So tons of fun on that one.
I think I remember. I don't know.
Yeah, check it out. And then so that's 3. We need 2 more. Obviously, you're taking home Frankenhooker. So you're welcome on that. So Frankenhooker's 1990.
I have one.
What? Live one?
No, I have a movie.
Well, they only get 5. They only get 5. Are we doing anything for the kids this week? Or are they paying for that?
We can do a kids one this week, but I had one more movie.
Okay, what you got?
Killer Party from 1980. My eyes are starting to go 86.
1986 Killer Party? What's that about?
Yeah, it's April Fool's slasher. Takes place in a fraternity house that was abandoned.
Cool. Okay, nice. All right, so that's 5. So they're going to have to pay for the kids, or are you giving it to them for free this week?
It's free this week since there's no chewed on cases.
Are we doing this for our 10th episode?
Yes.
There you go. And you know what I'll say?
They're dealing with us for 10 episodes.
Yeah, you guys have been listening for 10 episodes. And I will say a big thank you because we are actually up to, in total, 144 listens all time in 10 episodes.
That's crazy.
Our last episode already is up to 7 listens, just from we put it out on Saturday. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. It's not like crazy, but to us it's crazy. I know there are a lot of podcasts you could go listen to, so thanks for spending a little bit of time with us every week. We really appreciate it.
And we're at I think 304 followers on Twitter
Twitter?
too.
Okay,
yeah.
Nice, awesome. Thank you all for following us on Twitter.
And thank you for
That's great.
doing the polls I've been putting up the last couple of days.
Yeah, we've been having fun with that. I'm going to try to make it a point this week to start gearing up on our Facebook, our Instagram, and I'm going to put together a TikTok. I'm just not great with any of that stuff. So
neither am I. I don't even use TikTok.
Yeah, Mikey will be managing our Twitter because that's where things really go down, and that's a lot of fun. I'm going to start trying to get some stuff going on those other places. So if you guys use those social media...
Do people use Facebook still?
Some people do. Okay. I don't know.
Every time I go on it, it's just like pictures of friends from high school having kids.
Yeah, that's like...
Or me posting the same kind of thing.
You know what's funny? I actually... So my actual business, that I work, I do social media management for our company. And Facebook doesn't get as much interaction as Instagram. Apparently Instagram is where it's at.
I feel like that's slowed down, honestly. Because I've been stuck at... I have 800 followers on there.
So
I can't get past it.
Instagram Reels is the new thing. So people's the way people are taking in media these days, I do a lot of Reels for my job because Reels you see in a different spot, and you can
it's
kind
like
of
a
just
copy of like TikTok kind of thing.
You're right, exactly. So that's the thing. Like everybody's on TikTok now. That's like the biggest social media.
Man. Like TikTok just pisses me off. It takes me to the worst places.
Yeah, the algorithm's really intense over there. So
yeah,
but I'm going to try to get an account set up for us. I've actually kind of like slowed down on Doombox because I want to put a lot more effort into this podcast because, I mean, you guys seem to really like it.
It's going crazy well. Like, I didn't even... We're just two like weirdos who like movies and shit.
Yeah. So you might not, if you are a Doombox listener, you might not see some Doombox stuff for a little while just because, I mean, I want to put as much time as I can into this show because it's a lot of fun. Carla asked me the other day, she's like, because I was complaining, I'm like, oh man, it takes me so much time to write the scripts for Doombox, and you know, I want to make sure I'm doing this for VHS Doom and whatever. And she's like, well, which one do you like more? I'm like, well, I have more fun with Mikey. And she's like, well, just do that one. I'm like, okay, yeah, you're right. So, yeah, I'm going to try to put some more effort into this show and put less mental effort onto everything else. So, anyway, so Mikey is giving out a free kids movie this week. So, what is it?
So I said, what did I say for last week before I got taken into the void?
Oh, yeah, you texted me from, like, the underworld. What did you say?
Oh, Anastasia.
Oh, yeah, you said Anastasia. Yeah. Okay, Mikey has decided that he's going to give you guys a free kids movie. Thanks for everything that you're doing and listening and stopping in. So what are you going to give us this week, Mikey, for kids?
1995's Casper.
Okay.
Starring Bill Pullman and Christina Ricci, and it's about a story about a ghost that lives in that mansion.
Nice.
And he becomes friends with the little girl.
Casper, the friendly ghost. You can't go wrong. Okay, very cool. All right, so there you have it, folks. This week, your 6 movies that you're taking home for free. Well, as a part of your membership. 1991's The Resurrected. 1982's Slumber Party Massacre. 1979's Meatballs. 1990's Frankenhooker. 1986 Killer Party, which is an April Fool's movie. And for the kids, 1995's Casper, the Friendly Ghost. That's it, man. So bring it on up here. Grab your popcorn, grab your soda, anything else you guys want. Come on. Awesome. We're so happy you guys came back. We can't wait to see you next week where you can, we hope you tell us all about what you think of these movies. Just throwing it out there again. I know I said it last week, but if you guys want, you have anything you want us to read on air, message us on Twitter, direct message us, or you can send an email to vhsdoom@gmail.com. We'd love to say happy birthday or, happy divorce or like happy whatever to anybody you want. You just let us know. You could tell us you hate us, you love us, doesn't matter. We just want some feedback. Also, we always put up some polls over on Twitter, and we put up polls on Spotify. So if you want to let us know how the show was there too, or answer our polls, go for it. I think
in a couple episodes we'll be doing a viewers episode, another poll.
Yeah, I love that. I don't want to spoil anything, but I'm very, very excited for our next episode, which I will not tell you what it is.
Can we just announce it now?
Well, you usually...
by the time it's out, it'll be like a couple days before we record.
That's true. Yeah, we do release these on like Saturdays, and then you usually tell everybody on Saturday what the next episode is going to be, or Sunday.
Saturday or Sunday-ish, yeah.
Okay, cool, yeah. So I'm stoked because next week we are going to be covering the Terrifier franchise. So that is my pick. Mikey picked this double feature, which is awesome. Was an awesome pick. So I felt like I had to do something that's like awesome. And I'm just going to go ahead and tell you guys now, I have never seen either Terrifier 1 or 2, but I know that Terrifier 3 is coming. And I love Art the Clown.
And that one has an even bigger budget than the second one has.
Oh my God. Yeah. I love seeing Art the Clown all over, when you're posting him on Twitter or I see him in memes or whatever.
He's gonna be here in Hartford for the convention that's going on, the CT Horror Fest.
Oh, for real? Okay.
Yeah, the guy who plays him is gonna be in full character for it.
Dude, you got to get an autograph if you go.
I'm thinking about going.
You should.
Yeah.
But yeah, so in honor of the franchise, because they are coming out with the third film, we want to go ahead and get our episode in on the franchise. So it's going to be a little bit different of an episode. We're probably not going to go into like each movie as a double feature as much as we're going to go over notes of the.
We also have to go over All Hallows Eve.
Oh yes,
because Art is in that one.
Yeah, that's where he came up, or like his first appearance.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I kind of want to. Maybe we could call it Art the Clown. Maybe we could call it. We'll call it the Terrifier franchise episode, something like that. But we're going to kind of follow Art. And I'm going to watch both 1 and 2, and maybe I'll watch.
Oh my God.
All Hallows
It's
Eve.
going to be it's going to be a gore fest. You're going to like it.
Dude, I can't wait. I'm so excited. So, anyway, yeah, that's going to be next week. Come back and have a ton of fun with us. That's it, y'all. Get out the door before Scabby Man drops another pile of ash poop, and it has your name.
No,
on
he's
it.
not. He's gone. He's gone.
Is he gone?
Yeah.
Are you sure he's not? Is that not?
I closed
him?
the door.
That's not him behind you.
No.
No. Okay. Wow.
Wait. Let's see. Nothing.
Oh yeah. No, you
Just videotapes.
You just got a bunch of videotapes behind you. Holy shit. Okay. All right. Scabby's gone. You guys are safe. Take off while you can. Oh shit, Mikey. Oh, God. He's floating. Oh, my God. This is always fun to watch. I'm not going to lie. It's a good time. Anyway. All right, y'all. See you later. Get out. We'll talk to you next week. Peace.
Rewind those bitches.
Yeah.